The next piece we're going to look at, you've seen now a customer example, very hard to kind of grasp. There's a lot there to look at. We want to go to some specific SAP integrations. So we're going to show you 4 elements. We're going to show you our employee self-service product, which is fully integrated with SAP. I think maybe a little glimpse of manager self-service that's kind of integrated with that. Suman will show us that. We'll show you how we can manage the SAP DMS. We'll also give you an example of Material Master and PLM data. Again, be aware, these are examples. Our connector allows us to get in any data. Many of our customers refuse to believe us until they actually saw it, and we understand that. You want to be critical of us, we have no problem with that. But be aware that we can get any data. There's no way we can possibly demonstrate every single data type in one short webinar. Suman?
Okay, so you're looking at the employee self-service portal. It's a combo of employee self-service and manager-based self-service. It's connected to real-time data with SAP, and I'll go through a couple of several features of this site. So I'm logged in as Mark Taylor, who I log out, who has an SAP account also, and behind the scene it gets tied to his SharePoint account, gets tied to his SAP account, and that's the SAP name coming. So here I have two sites here, employee and manager, and then inside the employee I have my profile. So this is the profile data coming real time from SAP, and I would like to go. I'll be jumping back and forth in SAP to show you the data or transactions that I am doing. So PA20 is the personal inquiry, and here is my employee, and this is the employee Thomas Smith. If you look at the address, this is the address. Now it does allow me to change. I can also change my phone number, change my.
Suman, can we ask for just a suggestion from the audience? Is there somebody willing to raise their hand, and we'll get a suggestion of a street name or a suite number? How about that?
Yeah.
Can we get a suite number? Somebody will raise their hand, and we'll let you. We'll have you speak up and give us a number. So, of course, the only people who will know that you're doing that will be you. But we do like to have real data. Is there anyone game enough to? Oh, I don't see anybody. I understand. What's today's date? Let's just make it 9/5/13, Suman.
So here is my address, 9513, and I will go back here, go back and do another display, and there is 9513 in SAP. So the data comes back and forth from SAP to SharePoint and SharePoint to SAP. We have certified connectors. We call function modules behind the scene in SAP to do the transactions. We don't touch your database directly. So that was the profile, and in the profile I just want to point out that other than the address, you also have salary information, your bank details which you can manage if you want to, and your salary information, your pay rates and everything. The next one is the request a leave, allows you to ask for a leave. And we have full-blown leave management system into the product. I can say, let's say I want to leave from 9 to 9:10, and say I want to go to vacation. It also tells me that who is my manager, which is coming from SAP, and I submit my leave request. The leave request gets submitted real time to SAP. We are using a SAP system which is not local, which is running, we are connecting over the internet, so there is some latency here. Now here it says that it's submitted to SAP Manager for approval. This is part of our approval system. We go through SAP, find out who is the manager, and then process the workflow in EASYProcess. And if you look at my absence, this is a leave absence that I have requested. It's still pending. Again, this is coming real time from SAP. So if you have your employee going to, your manager going to SAP, they can also approve this from SAP. You also have pay stub history, allows you to look at your pay stub real time from SAP. And I can also look at my pay stub, which depending upon how you have customized SAP, you can get the view of your pay stub directly from SAP. This is also an HTML view coming real time from SAP. And then we have time entry where you can enter the time, which also goes after approval by manager to SAP. After that, I want to log out and take you to log in as a manager. Here in the manager, I also have employee self-service account, employee self-service features, but I want to focus on manager self-service. Here I can manage time entries by my subordinates. I can manage job codes, and here is the leave request. This is the leave request that was just submitted. I can approve it. Now when you approve it, it actually approves your leave in SAP. And then your manager workbench allows you to look at your subordinates. You can look at their subordinates also, if they have one. You can print their employee verification letter, which actually brings the data from SAP, telling them when they join, what is their social security number. You can do a pay stub history for each of your subordinates and also look at their pay stub. And this is the Thomas Smith. I was logged in as an employee. And he also happens to manage more employees. So you can even drill down deep into subordinates through the portal. Also look at the vacation, and you said that it was just approved. So this is something that I just approved. And I can even go to SAP. And this is the 9th and 10th are the 2 vacation days I just approved for. So again, as you see, the data is all real time in SAP. Transactions are coming back, going back, coming to from SAP. So this is the main features of Employee Self-Service Portal.
Be aware that next month we will have a full-fledged, complete webinar announced by ERP Tips, sponsored by them, about the ESS portal. We've just done a quick look at it. We'll show you some of our customer sites as well. If your suspect HR is interested in something like this, we'd appreciate the introduction to that team. So watch for that announcement. This was just a quick look because there was a couple people in this webinar interested, and it showed great connectivity to SAP. We felt it was a good piece to show in this webinar.
And this is just the email I want to show you. EASYProcess can send all kinds of emails through the system, which could be well-formatted emails. Then other thing I want to show you here is we have document management integration. This is connected to DMS of SharePoint. I can search on it. This is all real-time documents coming from SharePoint. I'm sorry, SAP. It allows me to delete it if I was ready to delete it. And I can create document. So let's make it EASYProcess manual, and then I can browse it. Let's say I want to browse this working language, and I can create it. And this is the document number created real time in SAP. I can search for it again. There's the EASYProcess manual created by my ID here. And again, I don't like it, I can delete it. A full integration with DMS. The next one here is material management. We can search on materials. This is going to material master. We can this is all the materials, or I can also add new materials. And again, very basic form. You can have it customized. We have new item approval processes which are much more complicated. Here I can say, let's say, ERP tips. And then this material time again comes real time from SAP. And I'll just create it. We call function modules behind the scene BAPIs using our certified connector. And this will give me a material number. So here's the material number created in, and I want to do a search on ERP tips, and you will see that. So this is the one I just created. And I can go back and look into this if you want. I can show you quickly here. We go to MM03. Here's the one I just created. So that was the, and I have one more example, PLM.
Now be aware, we're just showing you some kind of small components. These come from various products. We have our larger modules. Some of them are unique. For us to go through all of our larger modules to find one example in each would make this a very tedious demonstration. So we've just kind of compiled things into our SharePoint environment here to demonstrate these four components. So don't think of these as full-fledged applications. They're just a way of seeing data in SAP to SharePoint.
And one thing I want to show here is that, and this is actually used by one of the biggest consumer product companies in the world right now. We integrated their PLM with SharePoint. Is how we did. So I can search real time. This is the search real time from real time search coming from SAP PLM. And if you know PLM, you know it's very complicated. Their hierarchies are much more deeper. So I can select a log, select a PLM number and add to log. And this actually will create a log which is an entry in SharePoint list here from PLM. And we'll be looking more into this. I just wanted to bring up the PLM here. So that was my part 2. Kent?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Suman. The next piece that we're going to do for you, we kind of want to think of it kind of like from a chemistry analogy. One more slide. There we go. We want to look at the reaction here kind of at an atomic level. And this is from a business point of view. We just want to show you a transaction that takes data out of SAP into SharePoint. We can manipulate the data in SharePoint, interact with SharePoint elements, and push it back into SAP. This is from a business point of view, so just consider this transaction is across all different modules and data. Our certification allows us and lets us very handily deal across the wide range. Suman mentioned PLM data. That was something that customer actually didn't believe we could do, and we certainly were able to do that for them. This demonstration will exhibit one example of this, and then we're going to do the same thing again. We'll talk about that after that from a technical point of view.
So this is a SharePoint site where you're looking at. I have a download address from SAP. I can search for a number, and this is David Johnson. This is the employee personal number in this one, and from here I can click here and say download to list. So now this employee was added to a SharePoint list. I can look for more. add to list. So like that, you can build your SharePoint list from SAP data. Then you can work on that list. So here I can say this address is not good, make it 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can go and say this address should be. So like that, other people, not SharePoint people, can manage this list. And even have a nightly process which can take this list or any kind of scheduled process or even a button here to upload this back to SAP. So that's interaction back and forth. I can go back and inquire on this again. So now you see the address has changed in SAP to 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do the same thing, take a trip to SAP here quickly. Show you that personal here and do a quick search here. So this is David Johnson, address, lookup, and there is your 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a quick back and forth from SAP to SharePoint, and then from SharePoint, from a list into SAP.
And this could be relating to lists, it could be calendars. Any number of SharePoint features are all accessible through EASYProcess, and to show all of them and everything here in one demo is just beyond what we can do. But be aware that's available to you in any SharePoint application.
So that brings me to my final part, Ken.
Right, so the final part, we're going to do this from a technical point of view, and here is where we're going to really unlock and show the power of EASYProcess. So Suman will actually be making a change here with real-time data, actually making the changes in front of you. He is going to change the user interface. He's also going to change a little bit of the process flow. Keep in mind, this is live data, live master data from SAP, and a real-time change. I'm going to do a cursory description. He's already going in here. So we've gone into the EASYProcess application.
The first thing I will do is I will change this mode into the debug mode. So, and that will also allow me to show you how EASYProcess integrates with the SharePoint. This is all it takes me to. This is like an EASYProcess control panel in your SharePoint. There is my keys, and this is where I go and change my toggle, change it to debug mode. This will allow me to see the Webpart numbers here. So now you will see that all these things that we have been showing you are actually our Webparts. We built this Webpart in EASYProcess. So I'll go to Webpart 146. I'm in EASYProcess now. This is my quick list. I can directly find my thing here, going to this Webpart. This will bring me to a Webpart factory here. As you see, it's a visual designer. I can drag and drop and create things here. Here's what I want to do for you, real-time change for you here. I want to add a new button here, and I want to name it Show Salary. So I want to get the salary of the person that I am inquiring on. So let's go ahead and inquire on a person here again. And you see here, now I have this button here, Show Salary, real-time in SharePoint. This is how we do the development. It's a drag and drop here. Then I can double click and go inside a process. This is how we associate a process with a button. So here I want to do a quick SAP inquiry. So I'll do a quick inquiry here. I will name it Get AMP Data. And this is a remote function call. This is an SAP call. I can right click here and I just need the name of the puppy here. So I can search across, this is a search in SAP.
Recognize that we're working with a remote SAP installation, so there's a few issues time-wise here.
So here is my function. I can select my employee number, which is the key here, and
We're just about up at the end of time here. We realize some of you may need to leave. Suman's going to complete this. Please, if you have any questions and you need to duck out, throw them into the chat, and we're glad to contact you. Rick and his staff will be in contact. You'll be receiving links to a recording of this in the future, but you'll be receiving other information shortly after. Please take advantage of KRI systems and learn more about this product. But now we're going to continue on, and we're glad to get even more technical as Suman builds this piece here.
So as you see, I'm typing in all these function names. This is the basic pay get details function. I want to select employee number here, subtype validate. And then I'm going to plug in the employee number from the form, which is here. Since I need the base pay, I'll make it 0. And I need to pass in the actual organization start date for this employee, start and end date. So one thing I want to show you here, EASYProcess allows me to look into the data that BAPI will generate for me. So this is the organization assignment. And as you see, it's all deep going for everything. I have all communication detail about the employee. I have internal control. I have personal data. Everything is here. So in this case, I need the from and to date. So this is my validity end, and this is my from date. And this gives me the salary. And then I can put the salary into anywhere on the form I want. So right now what I will do, I'll just replace the zip code with the salary that I'm getting, just to make it a little faster here. So here I can say, okay, I have the salary, where do I want to put it? I will say, okay, I have a field here called zip or state or postal code. So just take the postal code and put the salary in there. So I can drag and drop. So I want to change the text. And here again, in the value of the property, I will look for the salary information. Again, as you see here, I have annual salary here from SAP. This is a prediction. This is not the real-time running. It's predicting these values for me. This is the annual salary. I save it. I'm done. I go back here. Click on show salary. That is running the process that I just wrote behind the scene. Here is my salary, 60,000. Let's go to this employee here, 999910. Do a quick search on this person. Thomas Smith. I want to look at his gross payroll. Basic pay to a display. So here is his annual salary into the form. And that's what it takes us to bring the data back and forth from SAP to SharePoint, or even send it